Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And a special hi to the 50 of you that are probably going to watch this, because as you can see, this is a review of the Star Wars The Black Series, Chewbacca. Uh, Directly, this is Chewbacca from Return of the Jedi. Now, you might be wondering, why do I have this figure? What possessed me to get it? Don't you know that Star Wars doesn't do well on your channel? And, well, uh, here's the deal. On Saturday night, I found out this figure was on a lightning deal on Amazon, and it was $10. And for $10, you do not pass up a Chewbacca figure. Now, the other thing is, I do have another Chewbacca figure. It's actually a deluxe figure that came with C3PO, but it was the C3PO that could break apart and he could carry him in a sack. Now, that Chewbacca was from Empire Strikes Back. Bless your heart if you could tell the difference in design, but it only came with like a blaster rifle, like a stormtrooper blaster rifle. This one has the bowcaster, and frankly, if I'm being honest, uh, this is good enough in terms of Star Chewbacca's. I don't need a New Hope. I mean, I can tell you right now the difference is probably that head, well, this head was retooled from that, and it doesn't have the collar here with the chain attached. And that's probably it. I'm just going to make that wild assumption. And, I'll say it now, Hasbro, I don't think you have to make more Chewbaccas because if this is going for $10 on a lightning deal on Amazon, I'm sure there's other places trying to clearance it out if it hasn't already been clearanced out. Looking at the packaging, this is from 2023, so I really don't know how old this figure is. Probably from then, maybe a little older, maybe a little newer. But it is a nice figure. One thing I will tell you right off the bat, the articulation is very limited due to the sculpt. But what's interesting about the sculpt is you can kind of see how this worked as a costume. Whereas basically this top section here was like a jacket or a shirt because you have this overlap right here. So I can see this just being pulled on over Peter Mayhew's head or put on like a jacket. And these were just furry pants with some boots. And then, of course, the mask would go on over the top. Since then, of course, Chewbacca, I think since the passing of Peter Mayhew, Chewbacca's just been a CGI character, but um, it is nice. Now, in terms of articulation, um, you do have only double joints at the knee, double joints at the elbow. You do have a swivel here at the leg. You do, because this is a soft piece, you do have some good leg movement. But again, Chewbacca was not known for ballet. So I don't know how much you want to move it. Also, you might notice that I'm hesitant to move the arms because I had them in this nice gun holding pose, but you see there, and the wrists of them kind of go in and out. And even then, you can see how the gloves they have that fur that cover the hand. But I do want to say about the bowcaster, it does come in two pieces. This front section had to be pegged in. I really had to shove it in there. I think part of the reason why was the hole was a little misshapen. Also, you can see how Chewbacca's holding it, and the fact that the finger is not in the trigger hole. This is the best I could do, and I don't think it's meant to go. The finger's meant to go in the trigger hole, so it was a little bit of a pain to get it in the hole there. But by the way, how is it that it took us all the way to the sequel trilogy, The Force Awakens, for us to see just how badass the bowcaster was as a weapon? I mean, that thing did some damage. Other than that, you do have the head here. It does rotate side to side. It is on a ball joint, so you get some waggle to it. Just again, unfortunately, due to the sculpt of what was really the costume, it is a little bit limited. But this chain is soft, so I mean, if you have that the Leia in Bounty Hunter disguise figure, you could probably have her hold it. And this bag is removable. And what's nice is you can just if it gets a little too loosey for you, if you move it around, just you can tuck right underneath the collar of the head, so it does hold into place quite nicely. And I am very impressed. Oh, and there is that waist turn right there. that's it in terms of articulation. So it's the way it works as the waist, diaphragm joint, the whole shebang. But I am really impressed by this head sculpt. That does look like the Chewbacca we all know and love and wanted to cuddle with before, Baby Yoda came along. But I know for many of you, this is probably a moot review. You either have this figure, have several variations already, and don't really need another one. But like I said, for $10, like it was 9.99 after tax was like 10 something, and I paid nothing because I had gift cards. You really couldn't pass it up. But again, I think Hasbro really needs to stop putting out the same characters over and over. I understand there are new fans coming in, but I'll be honest with you, are these new fans interested in buying these figures? And if they are, let's be honest. I think there's many alternate avenues for them to get a Luke Skywalker, a Han Solo, a Chewbacca. Because I mean, right now, just off the top of my head, we've there's definitely a Chewbacca for all three films. I have now with this one, I have two. There's also older Chewbacca from Force Awakens. What's the big difference? I mean, that's the whole thing. There's like very slight differences. I really think between maybe not at Target and Walmart, but somebody new who's coming into the hobby, I would say, with the exception of maybe Luke, and I would say a little more so Vader, you can get most of the original crew from Star Wars. Han, Leia, Chewie, from Big Bad Toy Store, other independent retailers, for rather affordable prices, that the figures don't need to be constantly reissued. Now, I do want to mention that from this, it does look like this figure is using pinless technology, which I can understand. That's a new technology. That's why they're putting it out. But then, fine, this is it. We don't need Farm Boy Luke with pinless technology, Bedpan Luke with pinless technology, and Jedi Master Luke. I mean, we actually have a Jedi Master Luke. I actually have it. Again, I never reviewed it. It's from The Mandalorian. I'm pretty sure that has pinless technology. That's good enough. I mean, when you're getting down to like significant details, I don't think it pays to keep reissuing it. And if people want to have that figure, then it's up to them to hunt it down. And if they have to pay a little more, then they have to pay a little more. But when there's cheaper options out there, it, just do it because I think number one, these figures like here end up going on clearance or discount, which kind of makes the brand look a little unsavory. But there's also maybe other characters people would want to see as figures that aren't getting released. But then again, I could be wrong because apparently a lot of Star Wars figures are ending up on clearance and in closeout stores. So I don't know. All I know is for $10, this was a good Chewbacca figure. Kind of makes me interested to pull out the one with a C3PO and see what any differences are. Um, Unfortunately, the Lightning deal is over, but this is the Return of the Jedi Chewbacca. So find it on Amazon, add it to your wish list, use a price tracker, and let's see what happens if they still have stock if it goes on sale again. Because for $10, this is your Chewbacca. And again, if you're a hobby, and I hate to sound like gatekeeping a little, but definitely I think this is worth it. And this could be your Chewbacca. But I've rambled on a little bit. That's it for the review. If you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe. If you appreciate, if you, well, I always appreciate the views, likes, comments, and
subscriptions help communicate to YouTube through the algorithms that my channel should be exalted and held upon high. Wow, I don't know why I had a hard time getting through that. I also have a Patreon. You know the deal. Patreon.com/ChuckDog1999. $1 a month, $12 a year. No thrills, no tears, no special rewards. But as I always say, if you can't afford the $1 a month, $12 a year, your views are more than thanks enough. Patreon is just a cherry on top of an already generous sundae. So, once again, this is your old pal Chuck for Chewbacca. Live long and prosper.